Hello everybody and welcome to another update on the entire crypto markets. Now I'm looking at BTC on the hourly. Okay, this move up that we had from Bitcoin all the way up to 27.6, 27.7 region could be a possible just a three-wave move up. We had the choppy weekend that we expected. I said we're going to have a weekend chop, possibly a fourth wave or corrective wave, and then we had that extra push up, possibly completing the move up. Now what Bitcoin needs to do, for starters, for it to move up, it shouldn't break below this previous low at 26.6 and over here 26.830. I would say 26.9 is the start of a decline. So if we break 26.9 to the downside, it's an indication that we're going down. Well, we might be going lower. Now to go higher, Bitcoin needs to do two things. For starters, it needs to get above 27.6, 27.8, which is this previous high. And that's almost exactly where we sold off, as you can see over here. This point and this point are almost the same point. We need to get above that, then reclaim 28.9. A reclaim of 28.9 is an indication that we're going up. 27.8, I would say, followed by this zone, the POC, 28,022. Then 28.9. Once we do that, then we know we're heading higher. Once we reclaim 28.8, 28.9, then we're entering this other level of the other fixed range volume profile over here. That could take us to higher prices. But as long as we're holding down and we're failing to break above these levels, for starters 27.6, then we won't be going up. Then there's the probabilities for more downside is higher. But anything can change at any time. That's Bitcoin. Now, going into the DXY for a quick look, the DXY has been showing some strength on the hourly. We are kind of stalling out over here. So if we aren't able to break above the 102.6, or even on my chart, the 103.2, the DXY could come down, and that in turn will push the markets up. The DXY need not break the 101.6 level, because once we start getting below that, this level, the 101.98 or 96, once we get below that, then it means DXY is going down and markets are pushing up. However, the Nasdaq on the other hand has been showing so much strength, but yet it is stalling out, though it is in a rising wedge. But we are bumping our head at the top of the wedge. The wedge's trend line. This is another wedge that I'm going to draw. We are in a smaller formation of a wedge. We are in a bigger wedge. Within that bigger wedge, we have a smaller wedge. So I'm going to show you that. This is a rising wedge that breaks down more than 65% of the time. Now, this is the wedge that we're in. We're approaching the apex of this wedge, the triangle, whatever you want to call it, and you can see we went above it, attempted a breakout, only to come back down. We are in a bigger wedge over here on the daily. If you look at it, we are in this bigger wedge, which is also another bearish formation, a rising wedge. This line over here and this line. Now, S&P 500 also slightly pushing up. We're up 0.18% for the day. However, same thing, stalling out. I never got that hit of 4,300 that I was saying that we might get. We didn't get that. We might, and if we do, then that would really push Bitcoin much. Would push Bitcoin higher. I wouldn't say much higher, but would push Bitcoin higher. Going into Ethereum, as long as the Ethereum is below the 1,800, and I'll give you the target, 1,850 or 1,866, just to put it that way. The POC is preceded by 1,850. So 1,850 is the level that I found of interest on the chart that it reacts to, but 1,866.7. If we can't get above that, as long as we're below that, then there's nothing bullish about Ethereum. That's the plain truth. But as long as we're holding the 1,795, or even if you want to go as low as 1,785, then there is potential for more upside. Now, looking at it on the 4-hourly, we're still below the 50 EMA cloud. On the hourly, we are probably above it and hugging into it. We are bullish fact, or bullish, if you want to look at it in a bullish way. For starters, we are above the value area low, but we're not showing much strength. We're still stalling. When you're above the value area low, then your target usually is the POC 1866. If you're above the POC, then you'll be looking at the value area high, which isn't marked here on the chart, but I'll show you where's the value area high. The value area high is over here, 1933. So as long as you're stalling or you can't get above that, then there's a possibility of more downside, and you might be visiting this zone of 1680. Now, looking at this, I'm going to give you a bearish fact as well. What doesn't look good is we came all the way to 1850. In fact, we front ran it and sold off hard, 1848. This is 1850 over here, and we got rejected. We formed a double top sort of, and we came down and we're forming possibly a bigger double top. Those are the levels for Ethereum. Bitcoin, Solana, on the other hand, Solana, as long as we're above 20.9, then we can look higher, but we're just barely clinging on to the $20.90. 20.750 is a value area low. If you can get above it, then you'll be aiming for the POC. Value area low, 20.750. My next zone, if we can still hold this, is this zone, the green box, which has a POC in it. The green box is between 22.8 and 23.6. But if you can't hold it, then you are coming for that level, 18.343. Simple as that. If you were to ask, should I go with the long or short? You could go with the long over here, not financial advice, but over here, since you're above value area low, that's support, that's where 75 or 70% of the trades have been carried out in the lower range. So you could have a stop loss a bit lower, and you could be aiming for higher. You do have a vector here, but you've recovered most of it on the daily. On the 4-hourly, do we have any other zones of vectors? Possibly somewhere here we have some sort of vector. If we go to the hourly, you maybe would see more zones. Over here we have a zone, in here we have a zone, and up here we have a zone. So if you want a chance along, that's more of a long-term play. Solana doesn't move much usually in a day. So yeah, quant, you're above 101.5. that is a good sign, as long as you're above 101.51, but you're also stalling out. On the 15-minute, same thing. Could things be holding out, waiting for some news? Possibly the debt ceiling that is coming in mid-June. That's in about a month. That's so far off to not have some price action. We need some price action. We need it now. 114.39 is the next target for quant if we can hold this. Litecoin, you're above that 85. I told you, as long as you're below the 85, nothing bullish. When you're above the 85, as you can see here, we broke above on the 15th. You're above the 85, you should be aiming for 95. You got all the way to 93.69, very close. Now next hurdle for Litecoin, if you can get above 95, then you can see much higher for Litecoin. All right, that's my update for the market, and I won't go into every and each coin unless you request them in the comments, because most of the coins and most of the crypto, most of the things will be following Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. Hope you liked it. If you did, like the video. If you didn't, dislike it is fine. And if you like to, subscribe. If you don't like to, unsubscribe. Just unsubscribe. You could join the free Discord, and don't forget to hit your notifications on. More trades, I'm out.